Hey there, Fred Reed here from CNY Alive. Thank you for joining us one more time for the Midnight Sun sessions. We go down to Armory Square once in a while and talk to some of our local bands. This time we're talking to 2 Hour Delay. 2 Hour Delay has been around for a long time. They're a great band. And we also talk about Tim Burns' solo CD 443. I also want to remind everybody, November 23rd, Midnight Sun has their 5-year anniversary. I think everybody should go out there and support our local businesses as well as support our local bands. So without further delay, I'd like to just send it right over to the Midnight Sun. So the obvious question, and maybe you guys just got the name from listening to the radio on a cold winter morning and wondering if school is going to be shut down or not, but where'd you come up with the name 2 Hour Delay?
So Tom Madden was the original bass player in the band, and at the time, way back in 2008 timeframe or so, he came up with a whole list of potential names. Everything was like Tim Burns and this, Tim Burns and that. I'm like, well, first let's just drop the Tim Burns and let's just call it something. There's 2 names that stuck. One was Tim Burns and the Rare but Serious Side Effects. I was doing a lot of solo stuff at the time, and these guys were the Rare but Serious Side Effects, and I was like, wow, that's a really cool name, but a little long maybe. Sure. And then the other one was Tim Burns and 2 Hour Delay. I'm like, let's just call it 2 Hour Delay.
2 Hour Delay.
And I don't know, they had meetings that kind of tied us here in central New York. We get a lot of weather and a lot of 2 hour delays. We get free advertising out of it from time to time. And the other thought was that, maybe this is the hidden meaning, but it's easy to take a 2 hour break from your crazy schedule and go chill out, listen to some music. So that's kind of where I like.
I like that one. That one makes a lot of sense.
But honestly, it's a terrible name. We thought about changing it 100 times. So.
You can't now. Everybody knows he has 2 Hour Delay. So
once you do one show, you use a name and continue on, you're pretty much stuck kind of with a name. The further you go, the harder it is.
The longer it sticks to you, the harder it's going to get rid of. As long as people don't think that the show is going to start 2 hours late or something.
We get a lot of that, and we pretend we haven't heard it before.
Okay.
We'll laugh with everybody. Yeah.
Well, we'll edit that joke out then, okay.
Actually, we know people that actually have shown up 2 hours to our show before too, so.
And they just catch the last hour going,
and then they go, oh, now we get it. And so then they show up on time instead.
got it. It's the name, not the time frame. Okay. So you mentioned though that you do a lot of the songwriting and everything. Can you give the audience like a picture of like what you guys do to put together a new song or how the creation process is?
Sure. I guess usually I'll send one out. I'll come up with basically a lyric and a melody. Sometimes I'll record it to my phone or my iPad or something, send it to the guys to have a listen, and sometimes I get a response back, and sometimes I don't, and eventually we'll get together for a practice and try to plot out what the structure is. And
I mean, you kind of bring it to them and then they kind of pull their parts in and just say, this is how I want to go around with what you brought up and everything?
Yeah, one thing that I've never come in and say, hey, this is the bass part and this is what I want you to play. Occasionally I'll say, hey Bob, can you play a little lick that sounds like something like, and then he'll come up with his own cool lick on his own anyway.
Puts his brand on it.
Yeah.
So
pretty free that way.
You say you write most of them. I read something that Joe did a lot
Joe
of.
Ensign has been a big asset to the band because he comes in with a whole bunch of other songs that he had written and others that he's continued to write. So it's really nice to be able to have a songwriter in the band to bounce ideas off of, or to basically just bring a different style to the group, right? So then I can sing a song, he can sing a song, and I like to just sit back and hang out in harmony from time to time too, which is a lot of fun.
And what does he do in the band?
He plays bass.
Bass.
Joe's a great guitar player, but he's our bass player.
Okay, and then you have one other member that's not here, and he is,
Brian Welch.
and he's obviously probably the drummer.
He's our drummer. Our singing drummer.
Your singer. I did notice that he does all the harmonies and everything too.
Yeah.
What would you say was where do you get your content from your songs from? Is it just life in general, or do you see somebody cut you off on the highway and you're like, well, I'm just going to write about that person? And
It's a bit of everything.
it's a bit of everything, just from everyday life. And
Certainly, there's some of the more recent songs that I've written. There's bits and pieces of me in them, but they're not necessarily about me. There's others that are just biographical, talking about my family and raising kids and that sort of thing. So it's a little bit of everything.
I mean, I think every song is probably like that to a point. But what would you guys say your influences are in music? Like family members or other bands and other performers, what would you say your influences are, personally and or band-wise?
Yeah, that's a hard one for me because it's just, I'm really coming at it more from just as a guitarist, maybe some influences on things I hear and I like from different genres. I'll try and bring them into what I like to do, and just the way there's other things I might not like and I don't bring that in. So I don't really have I'm not so much of a song guy as more I think of myself as more of a accompanist. Is that the word? Something like that.
It's something like that.
Yeah. And so I'm interested in how these songs come together and are arranged, and the parts and how they interlock, and how I look at it kind of from that way. I think
The building blocks and
yeah, I was going to mention that when we do these songs, I think a lot of times we'll have a skeleton. Kind of Tim will come in with a skeleton, or maybe Joe. Just come from playing it together either at the gig or at practice, and that's where these things will kind of develop and become the kind of the arrangement and the song that ends up being performed. I think that's an important part of the song process.
Right.
So I'm jumping back a little bit, but
sure. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Influences?
Influences. Well, I grew up listening to the Beatles, to Simon and Garfunkel. A lot of the great music from the 60s and early 70s. Just listening, was always playing around the house. And as I grew older, I got into the whole 80s scene, which I don't really draw a lot of influence from that, I don't think. Always been a big fan of Sting, and
Sure.
his vocals. But I can't say that any of my writing feels influenced by any of that. In the college, I got into Neil Young and the Grateful Dead. Nowadays, I listen to a lot of Ryan Adams and Jason Isbell. Really liking the whole Americana scene. That's where I find myself drawing most of my influences from these days.
Cool. Speaking about the Beatles and everything, we happened to catch you at the Beetlejuice. They had like the conveyor belt of all the musicians up there, doing a great job. It was a fantastic show, and you were up there many, many times. And obviously, the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young tune was just spectacular.
Yeah,
Which, like you were telling me earlier, there was a little bit of not a skip, but an unexpected happening. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that was really something. So, it's supposed to be Paul Davey, Sean Hallen, and myself singing that song. And Paul had a million duties that night. So Sean and I ended up in the back in the green room, and we thought we'd just run it real quick, just to practice it one more time, hit our parts. And in walks Mark Hudson, and he hears us doing this, and from across the room, he's like, "Hey, I do the Graham Nash part in my tribute band. Can I sing with you guys?" And we're like, "Yeah, go ahead." So we kept right on going, and it was a pretty magical moment backstage. And Paul walked into the tail end, and he's like, "Oh, great, there goes my part," So we ended up doing it that way on stage, and it was pretty special.
You never would have known you guys did it at the spur of the moment because it was special on stage. It was a great song. Now you don't really hear people pulling that stuff off live as often as it used to, and that was great.
Thank you.
It kind of brings me to a question I probably should have asked probably longer earlier. Was how long has 2 Hour been together?
Yeah, we had our first rehearsal in Brian's basement. I want to say in like March or April. It was March actually. I know it was March in 2007.
Okay.
So I was in a different band at the time. Brian and I actually were playing together in a group called Four on the Floor, doing old R&B and classic rock stuff. And I was itching to do some original stuff again. So we got together. Brian knew Bob through work, and he played with Tom. So next thing you know, we were in Brian's basement, and everything just felt really good. Kind of clicked. And so, I don't know, through 2007, we practiced a bit. We started getting a couple gigs here and there, but by 2008, we started booking this 2 Hour Delay.
No kidding. A decade of it.
Yeah.
Or a decade of it. Nice little show. So, when people want to come out and see 2 Hour Delay,
Sure.
tell me what are they going to get? What kind of show are they going to get?
It depends on where we're playing.
Okay.
A lot of dancing.
A lot of dancing. From the crowd or you guys on stage?
No dancing.
Not a lot of dancing. Sometimes dancing. It depends.
Well, what's the optimum show you guys?
Dance.
Yes. What's the optimum show you guys want to put out? Like, what do you like to do when you get out there? What you guys want to do on stage for people?
Well, it truly depends on where we're playing.
Okay.
We play just up the street at Kitty Hoynes probably every 5 or 6 weeks. And there we're going to play a mix of original stuff and a mix of cover stuff, and we'll throw in some Irish tunes. You know, it's an Irish club, so that's what we do. And then every now and then, if we get a request for something that we know or that we partially know, we might give it a shot.
And wing it.
We'll take those chances. If we're playing at a place like Shifty's, perhaps, maybe we'll play more original music over the course of the night. And probably won't play any Irish tunes, right? But we feel the crowd out. If we play some smaller listening type rooms, and those shows tend to be mostly original. You know, we just read the crowd and see what they're up to. But we have enough material to do a full show, 3-hour plus show of original stuff or covers, and anywhere in between.
That's great. I know we did talk about this with the band and everything. 2 Hour Delay hasn't really put out a CD in a while, but obviously you guys are probably thinking about it again. Where is that available for the public right now? If they did want to come back and pick it up or whatever.
The old
Yes,
CD.
that one. They can come down to the Midnight Sun and buy it. Right now we have one available, $99.50 because it is a one of a no.
So it's available through our website, which is 2hourdelayed.com.
Okay.
It's always available at shows. I think that's really about it. There's a button on the website.
Very nice. We'll probably just give it to you, but
That's true.
if you're not,
If you're bad, Santa's not giving it to you. So let's talk about the other CD,
Yeah.
Chen Burns, live at the Listening Room 443, which now is known as the 443 Social Club and Lounge.
Yeah.
Tell us about this.
So that was pretty neat. Out of the blue, I ended up with 2 dates at the 443. Thanks to an open mic that's run there on Thursday nights. I had a gig just up the road at Guilfoyle's, and so Todd and Bab said, stop on down. I was wanting to. I knew about this new place, and I showed up right at the tail end of the night and almost missed the whole thing. But Jimmy was gracious enough to let me get up and play a tune, and then he let me play a couple more. And the one stipulation was, just don't suck. So I played a few tunes, and it went really well. And I instantly fell in love with the room. It's a really cool place. So shortly after that, I ended up with a date in March and a date in May. And I woke up one night out of a dream like, I have to record this, right? a listening room, how often do you get an opportunity to play music to people who are just paying attention, right? And
Yes.
not looking at phones and talking to their neighbor, watching the game on the television. And so everything kind of fell into place, and it was March 29th is the night I recorded it. And then my next date was in May, end of May. And so I quickly forgot about it because life is so crazy. And then all of a sudden I'm like, man, I got to make this happen if I'm going to make it happen. Because I wanted to use that other night as an opportunity to release it. And so in the wee hours of putting together the media to go with it and working with my friend Greg Goodfellow, who mixed it down, put it out in May.
This is a live recording then?
It's a live recording.
Excellent.
I recorded probably 20, I forget how many songs that night. Only had room to put 14 on the disc. But there was a whole bunch of material that I hadn't performed with the band yet. And I'm like, oh, this is an opportunity to just put it all down and see what sticks. And fortunately, there was enough that felt good enough to put out on CD. So
Great.
yeah, my only regret is that I rushed the whole process. You know, I had this little window to make it happen, but it was kind of it was a task. It was a goal, right? But I'm pleased with the quality of it. So
That's cool. Where can they get this one? Same place or?
that one is really only available through me at shows, or through contacting me on Facebook or email. Through our website, there's a way to get a hold of me. I'm terrible at the whole media part of marketing. I should be better at it, but it's one of those things that I just haven't taken the time to learn it and understand it and then make it happen. So I hope to. I'd almost like to re-release that one and really do this one justice that it never really got by all the different avenues that people can listen to these days.
Sure.
So.
So what do you guys got coming up? Shows-wise, events-wise, what do you guys got coming up?
So Friday night we're at the Ridge over in Chittenango. Excited to get back there. That'll be an indoor show.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I've got some solo shows coming up. November the 14th, I'm over at Kitty Hoyne's. And on the 15th, I have an early happy hour show at the Hop Spot. On the 20th of November, we're at Ale's Wine and Whiskey Lounge. That's a Wednesday night. And then the one I'm really looking forward to is we're going to be opening up for Dark Hollow at the Westcott. It's an early show. 6 p.m. is our start time. We're booking the whole thing as a come down and spend your happy hour with us. So we're on for about 45 minutes from 6 to 6:45. Dark Hollow is going to hit the stage at like 7. So the whole
What date was that again?
That is November 22nd. Yeah. So that rounds out November for us, and then in December we've got another date over at Kitty Hoyne's up the road here on the 13th. The 14th will be at the Green Gate Inn. And then the one I'm really excited about is we're going to be getting into the 443 as a band.
Really?
Yeah, we played some quiet shows in some quiet venues, and they always turn out really nice. The band's really listening, and we're not overplaying. And so we've talked about it, doing those types of shows. I usually don't book them so much. And then by chance, we played a show at the Braylock, and it was an outdoor show during the summer. And of course, the weather turned terrible. We only got one set in outside. But I talked with the owners, and we moved downstairs, and they went for it. And
As opposed to going home.
As opposed to going home, it just didn't feel like we'd done it justice. You know?
The band was like, damn, we wanted to.
I looked all week long forward to playing that show, and anyway, we went down to the basement and we practically unplugged everything. I mean, it was minimal.
Not me, I was still plugged in.
That's the electric.
You got the idea.
Yes, yeah.
But
So maybe we can get a recording when you go back to the 443 again of the band this time.
It's been running through my mind. I have to put some pieces together and get some permissions perhaps from the band and from 443 and all, but That would be pretty cool to do. So we'll see.
Very
Hopefully.
cool. Very cool. Anything else you want to throw out there? And they can find all your information on the website.
Yeah. Pretty much everything can be found through
2hourdelay.com.
2hourdelay.com. There's links from there to get to Reverb Nation or to Facebook or to YouTube.
Okay, good.
To be honest, we're not the best marketing people in the world when it comes to this stuff, and I do most of the booking for the band. And so, if anybody wants to help,
You can find us.
Contact him on Facebook. It's the first way to contact him about CDs, either or. Booking the band and/or him. And hopefully we're going to catch you guys live soon.
Great.
And more music coming out.
Absolutely. I mean, we have enough to record at least 2 or 3 albums right now.
There you go.
Easily. It's just a matter of us making it happen.
I swear to God, I just heard 10 listeners going, what are you waiting for?
Yeah. We've tried. We're working on the project several years back, and then we had a lineup change, and then we started doing it again, and things changed again. Then we even tried to go as far as setting up a small home studio to enforce ourselves to make it happen. It's a learning process, right?
Right.
We'll make it happen.
Well, that's great. I hope everybody takes time to go out and catch the 2 Hour Delay. Catch Tim if he's playing single. Either way, you're going to hear great music. You're going to have a great night. Look for their stuff on CNYalive.com and or 2 Hour Delay to find out more information. I know it's getting cold. Scarves and sweaters, midnight sun. Jim, thanks a lot. 5th year anniversary, November 23rd. Have a good weekend. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.